Last we left our heroes, you made your way into the frigid north in pursuit of the relic Azuth's fate, once held by Mordenkainen. Finding a temporal distortion where his tower's resting place seemed to be, you forged a path through time and space, and found yourselves shifting through time, and found yourselves within the Battle of Dragon's Rend. Though it passed as quickly as you came, remnants of that battle fought back, and you came face to face with the withered husk of the dragon goddess Tiamat. She was as deadly as you would expect, and caught by surprise, you were immediately on your heels. Thankfully, you were not in battle with her for long, but the dangers of battle past swung back around, and echoes of past magic wielded by the circle arose from the rubble and continued the fight. After your initial encounter, this continued fight proved near deadly, but thankfully, you managed to come out on top and met the steward of the Alabaster Tower, a construct of the plane of Mechanus called Autonomous Lifeform Ratifying Eternal Duties, but you can call him Alfred. This intriguing robot steward of the tower and servant of Mordenkainen welcomed you inside, and after a brief discussion, before delving deeper into this mystery and time lock that seems to hold you prison, you sat down to rest. And this is where we begin tonight. What do you do?
Oh, all healed up after that short rest.
Short rest, your short rest abilities have returned. Any spells that you had, you regain on Brock, you regain all of your warlock spells value. You get a first or something back. Fighters get their stuff back.
First. I just get my inspos now, yeah.
And yeah, for the most part, you guys should be fully healed, but running low on hit dice, I imagine. Alfred kind of pops back up out of this pondering state that he was in, and just waits until you're ready. A reminder of your kind of location. You're in just beyond the entryway of the lower floor of the Alabaster Tower. You can see the central pillar rises up. You wager maybe 30 feet. There's a pillar within the tower of this smooth alabaster. You can see these golden sigils and like inscriptions and etchings kind of run across its entire surface, as do these kind of continually circling escalator-like stairs that kind of come out from the interior tower. They just kind of continually spiral and almost intersect but never quite collide. There's an interior hallway that kind of circles around, but you lose sight of it. And basically, right where you've been resting, there are 8 small rubble piles that have been intentionally placed. These individual mounds of rubble that seem to mark 8 individuals. And over your rest, you notice that they are not just piles of rubble. You actually notice there are some items that have been placed either atop or beside or behind, almost as like a signifier, or not offering, what would be like in remembrance of. Yeah.
So do they look like there's probably bodies underneath these?
You can easily see that they're the size. Some are a little bit bigger than others, but for the most part, they look like they would be burial markers.
Do without approaching them, because that seems disrespectful and like it might set off Alfred.
You're not particularly far. You can see pretty well.
I just want to. Are there any items of note? Anything that's different or interesting, or colors or insignias? Anything that?
Short answer, yes. Several.
Okay.
Each of them has at least a single piece, if not 2, that are particularly interesting, that seem like armaments of powerful wizards. Starting on one hand, on the first, you can see this, what looks like an arm of gold and kind of arcane sigils, and you can see these blue crystals, almost like a 3/4 prosthetic, is sat kind of gently atop one of these mounds. It's intriguing. On the next, you can see a scepter is kind of balanced on top, and you can see the top of it is intricately woven, not woven, but crafted metal. Like you can see platinum and silver and gold all intertwining the top of this scepter. And within, at the top, there's this rather large piece of amber, potentially like yellow stone, potentially like topaz, And within you can see like this kind of vague draconic like imagery without getting a closer look. That's the best you can get. On the next one, not particularly held by anything, but just gently floating just above where the head part would be, you just see an open, empty robe. A hood up, this dark black robe that as it fades down to the bottom, kind of fades to the colors of like a sunset or a dark night sky. And you can see sparkles and stars kind of set within this robe. And along the bottom, you almost see the same coloring and cloud of like the astral sea. Like that's what it looks like. And it kind of blends and rises in amongst these stars in an otherwise black interior. On the next, you see a simple wand with some crystal elements, but nothing jumps out at you. The next, you see an interesting, what looks like a long staff possibly, but it's encased in this like ruby-like gem. It's like a single long shaft of red gem. You can see at the top this rather large looking ruby, but inside the ruby it's almost like you can see another element, like a piece of wood or something. Finally on actually there's three more. On the next you see this almost crystalline shield and a rapier that's kind of balanced across the marker. There are a set of bracers on the final one that seem intricately crafted. And finally, a rather simple looking final note, a silver, potentially platinum rod about 3 feet in length is set perfectly still atop the final. 8 interesting items atop 8 markers.
Alfred, are these markers and are these markers and these belongings what's left of the Circle of 8?
Unfortunately, the Circle of 8 have all fallen in the Battle of Dragon's Rend. These are their final resting places. Indeed.
Did you put them here?
I did. I had much time since their passing. I thought it to be the human thing to do.
I'm sorry for your loss, Alfred.
Do not feel sorry. I feel no loss. I feel nothing.
I don't think that's true. I give him a little pat.
Thank you.
You mentioned, did you call him the master of the tower?
My master, Mordenkainen, yes.
Mordenkainen, he's here? Did you say he wants to meet us?
He is in his study.
He's alive?
Indeed.
Wow. What's he been doing for, what did you say?
I am not at liberty to divulge what he has been up to. That would be on you. I can deliver you there, should you wish. If you are done, here.
I think so. I think we're ready to meet the most powerful wizard of all time.
Does he know that we're here already? Like, out of curiosity. Is this like his domain? I'm assuming that's his vaguely gesturing out to where the bubble of time is.
Indeed, the time lock is his doing. I am unsure if he is aware of your presence. I have been told to await the heroes of Vesaria who would come for Mordenkainen and the Circle of 8.
Okay. Has
Alfred.
anyone else tried to come here since the 430-something years?
You are the first who I am spoken to in 459 years.
Wow. Alfred, these items that you placed so delicately on top of these tombs, they were the tools that the Circle of 8 used to combat the Reckoning, is that right?
They did not combat the Reckoning with these items. They did, however, fight at the Battle of Dragon's Rend, and many battles before. But yes, otherwise, correct.
Tools need purpose, right? They need to do things.
Indeed, tools need purpose.
Do you think these tools are serving their purpose here, or would they be better served fighting against evil like dragons or the Reckoning?
These tools are being unused. Therefore, their purpose is unfilled. Do you have a purpose to provide them?
I think we would. We do. We are heroes of Vesaria, and we could use tools to help us in this fight.
If you are of interest in any of these, you are more than welcome. They are now my possessions to keep.
Let's get a closer look at these things. Oh my god. There is such cool shit here.
There's
I might change my opinion about you, Rust Bucket.
His name is Alfred. Wow. This is rude to take every single one of them. They're so cool.
What do we look at first?
Let's see. Like, what?
Why don't we go in order? The arm of gold with blue sigils that's 3/4 prosthetic looking.
What do you do with it?
I don't want to ritually cast. I mean, maybe we could ask Alfred. Alfred, are you able to tell us what these tools do?
I can tell you in a broad sense what they are capable of and who utilize them. However,
That would be lovely.
the specifics I don't personally know.
Okay. No, I think that would be lovely to learn more about their history and what they've been able to do.
Which would you like to see first?
How about this one here on the right? This arm of gold with the blue sigils.
This particular item is Bigby's arcane arm, once wielded by the Archmage Bigby. He, as many do not know, was missing one of his limbs. This replaced that limb and allowed him full function. Also, it was capable of intriguing evocation magic.
That's amazing. How about this scepter crafted with metal, platinum, silver, and gold with this piece of amber rather?
This particular piece was wielded by Jalarzi, the only female member of the Circle of Eight. She had much connection to the dragon gods and goddesses. This was her piece.
Excellent. How about this beautiful star-kissed robe that's just floating here?
This was the well-known piece of Warren Starcoat, Archmage, as along with the rest of the circle, a master of planar travel and a wielder of the stars.
And this one, though, it looks simple. It's beautiful with these crystal elements.
Indeed,
This wand.
it looks simple. Odaluk looked simple, and yet particularly protective. It would often create new arcane powers of protection. This was his device.
And this crimson-looking long staff. It's so beautiful. How about it?
This is technically two different pieces of arcane. The exterior here is what is known as a mastery gem, a device of Mordenkainen's creation. It is capable of overcoming restrictions of certain creatures and certain magical items. Certain creatures who cannot attune to certain magical items, this overcomes this restriction. The staff within was wielded by Alhamazed the Wise. He wished to be a healer, but was not particularly skilled in healing. The staff within does that.
Super handy. And this crystalline shield and rapier?
Auto silver threads, dancing rapier, and animated shield, both capable of fighting alongside him whilst he wielded magic craft. They would do battle and protect him.
Very, very cool. And these bracers.
Nistel, a particular illusionary master, wielded these bracers that allowed him to do multiple cantrips easily small pieces of magic in the same turn of combat.
And lastly, this simple-looking platinum rod.
Simple looking indeed, however, quite intricate. Tensor, master of transmutation, crafted this quicksilver rod, capable of taking many shapes, many forms.
Wow. These are beautiful to behold, and thank you for telling us so much about them, Alfred.
Of course, it is my purpose to serve those who are visiting the Alabaster Tower.
In truth, we could likely use them all. Would you feel comfortable with that?
I feel comfortable with whatever you are comfortable with.
Well, tools
That's
need
a
purpose,
little-
and we would
a little
love to
weird.
give them purpose. So
We'll take them all.
I think it would be
Well-
wise for us to take them all.
If this is your prerogative,
I think it is. We have Lav to consider, who could also use one of these to aid us in the fight.
sorry about that. We were technical difficulties, but we're back. What was the question?
Alfred, we were all agreeing, right, Mary? We were all agreeing that these tools in our hands that we could bestow to the right people would be so valuable as champions of Vesaria.
I mean, admittedly, Otto Silverthread, was that his name?
Indeed.
I'm sure Eli would appreciate that.
That's true. A descendant.
Great. I don't know how many greats there's supposed to be in there.
I think 500 years worth.
How long
Gnomish
do
people live
gnomes live?
upwards of, they can live standard like century, but they could live longer easily. Some have been known to push 300 years, but for the most part 100 to 200. So there's a couple
okay.
generations in there.
I agree that these things in the right hands could do great things. I also feel really fucking weird about literally taking them off the graves of people and how well or not well our host might see.
That's
those
something we can ask him.
actions.
That's something we can ask him.
Do you think maybe we should talk to him first before we grab them?
That's kind of what I'm thinking. However, we don't know how we're going to get out of here and if we're going to come back here. If, I guess, we get out of here.
If you
It's
are
up to you guys.
take
Honestly,
any
this
of
is-
these items, my apologies. If you are to take any of these items, I would recommend doing before we meet with my master.
Oh, okay.
Let's take them.
Everything?
Yes.
Everything.
Never doubt.
This is
Yeah.
the fight for the sake of the material plane. We're
I
going to need all
know.
the help we can.
Okay,
I
so
know,
who
and-
gets what?
Well,
we can figure that out later. We're
later.
like all filled up.
I
on
get the best
attunement.
one.
Okay, fine. You get the best one.
How do you determine that?
I think it's
I
like
just give him the worst one.
there was a teleport one and a healing one. I get both.
the
A
healing one,
long
admittedly,
staff with a ruby could be so valuable. The healing one.
the amber draconic one is so interesting. Mary doesn't know what any of this shit does, and admittedly, it all sounds
Consider what Gordon.
sounds magic user e.
One of them is a
Consider what-
prosthetic, Kondo. I think you should chop off a limb. Put it on.
Honestly, you're talking to the right guy for that kind of talk. Just see him looking at Whisper, looking at his arms.
So let's plan.
So we take
With Alfred's
takes what?
blessing, yeah. Pardon me?
Who takes what? Alfred doesn't seem to have any.
I was thinking of just putting
Reaction.
them in the bag of holding, but if anyone is really attached to them, they could try and use it now. They're likely attunement, so you might need to unattune, and then you'd have to long rest with it. So you wouldn't be able to use
Short
it right
rest.
away, but
We'd have to
Just
go
a
through
short-
all of them again to know which is which again.
You'd have to properly identify, preferably, to know
yeah.
how and what. I will
I don't
also,
think any of us are going to get to use these right now.
I'll also point out, like, out of game terms or using game terms out of roleplay. These were 8 wizards, presumably, or at least
Mhm.
spellcasters. So keep in mind that these could be items that are only going to benefit spellcasters, or at the very least would benefit spellcasters potentially more than your martial melee classes.
Yeah.
So not everything is going to be applicable to everybody, but that doesn't mean that these aren't helpful.
And it doesn't
Like
mean you're
that's-
right. It doesn't mean they're not helpful for people who are not us.
That silver platinum rod, Tensor's rod, could be like really helpful with lav transmutation. Can take many shapes and forms. We've already seen what she can do with concrete walls, or rather stone walls.
I think we should take the Eli's to him.
We can give Eli Otto's dancing rapier and sword, or rapier and shield. Gord as a ex-healer turned evil warlock worshipping guy turned deity of death. The ruby staff might be helpful for you.
Scott, also, like, we have time. You could take 10 minutes to identify anything that you're very curious about.
I will take.
You don't have to. That's just an option if we're unsure.
It's really
of things.
interesting.
It would take, I mean, depending on how much time you want to spend, it's 10 minutes per, technically 11 minutes, I think, per item. So altogether, you got 99 minutes
Jesus.
to look through. If you wanted to, as part of your short rest, you didn't have to sit there doing nothing for your short rest. You've already rested for an hour. These were 4 feet away from you. You know, I have no problem pulling back and saying if you wanted to use identifying a couple, you can't get them all, but I'd say like 3, sure.
Why don't we do the star robe, the
That's
long
curious.
staff encased in ruby, the healing thing basically.
So
And
before you even say the last one, technically there are 2 items.
oh yeah, that's right.
The staff and the gem. The gem is its
That's so
own
cool.
element.
That
and
already
the
kind of got explained to
staff,
us, though.
more or less. But if you want to know specifics of it,
I think.
Let's do all 3. Let's do all 3.
so the gem, the staff, and the
Ruby encasing.
Well,
Yes, exactly.
Is there anything else in there though that we really need to know? The arm of gold, I guess, seems pretty. That seems Bigby's handy. The scepter.
The draconic scepter is interesting.
Yeah. The floating cloak is interesting. The wand, I missed the one that was like just the wand with a crystal.
It's a
protection.
It's Odaluke's, basically his implement of protection.
That's interesting.
Then there were bracers that seemed to be almost like
Illusionary?
they were illusionary base, but they seem to have purpose beyond
the
just
cantrips.
illusions.
Yeah, multiple cantrips in the same turn
That's
of combat.
interesting.
The Quicksilver rod was kind of alluded to as just like it has multiple uses that would be too much to explain by someone who doesn't understand it. So identify would be necessary there. So
That was for Tensor's rod?
Yeah, Tensor's Quicksilver rod. You could do 3 in your short rest, and then you can keep going. It's up to you guys.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't
yeah.
have to stop. But at the
Let's
very least,
do
I'll give you 3 out of the gate with your short rest.
Star robe and a long staff twice right out of the gate.
Okay. Well, the robe of stars is a robe of stars. Blue or black, dark blue robe. It's kind of, as I described, it's got this kind of star and night sky and a little bit astral sky motif that the color at the base rises to black, but there's kind of stars all over it. But there are specifically, you get a +1 bonus to all saving throws while you're attuned. It has 6 stars that are kind of along the collarbone area, and that are a little bit larger than the rest. While wearing them, you can use an action to basically pull one off, and you cast Magic Missile as a 5th level spell.
Cool.
You regain 1d6 at dusk. 1d6 stars back kind of reappear on the robe at dusk. And then while wearing the robe, you can use an action to enter the astral plane with everything you're wearing and carrying. You remain there until you choose to return. You return to the same spot that you left from.
So wait, you can use it to go to the astral plane, you said?
You can only go by yourself, like it's just a one-way ticket for yourself. You can't take anybody like Dimension Door. It's a one-person trip.
But you can come back.
But you can come back. Just whoop, like open a door.
Is Magic Missile like a bomb?
Magic Missile is like
Lab has
it's
those.
like a heat-seeking shot. You can choose your target. It automatically hits, and it automatically deals 1d4 + 1 per missile. As a 5th level spell, it's like 8 missiles.
Intriguing. Very
That's what Lavender
Yeah, you'd
used
like that
to
It's
Hit.
an
Destroy
attunement.
Damascus.
Damascus at that one time.
That's right. It's an attuned item, but class agnostic. Just a
Whoa.
wondrous
Very
item.
Cool.
Let's hear the
Moving-
next one before.
Moving along to the
Hondo is salivating over this right now. He
Hondo
is
wants
ready.
levels. He wants loot. He wants. He
Hondo
wants that
needs
booty.
unlimited attunement
Give
slots.
me
Is
it
what Hondo
all.
needs.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll start with the gem.
Yes.
The gem encases items. It's like this red gemstone that now sits on top of this staff. It seems to have some kind of liquid inside of it. The gem itself is impervious to attacks and damage. It's immune to all damage, but within it contains magic absorbed from countless sources. It can be used to overpower the requirements of certain attuned items, as explained. But the caveat to it, while you're basically attuned to this item with the gem encases whatever the item is, and if you choose to break the attunement, it absorbs the magic of the item.
So you lose
The old item is gone, and the gem can then be taken and put on something else. But the old item is destroyed. So, in this case, if you were to unattune, if you were to take it off of the staff of healing in this case, and put it on something else, the staff of healing will be destroyed.
Wow. Okay.
The Staff of Healing is a staff of greater healing, normally only attunable by bards, cleric, or druids. In this case, doesn't matter because it has the Mastery Gem and was attuned by a wizard, sorcerer, or otherwise. It has 12 charges. You can expend a number of charges using your spell's save DC if need be, although there's no DC for any of these, I guess for that one. You can expend up 12 charges for Cure Wounds. You can expend 1 charge per spell level up to 6th for Cure Wounds. You have Mass Cure Wounds for 5 charges. You have Greater Restoration for 6 charges, and you have Heal for 6 charges. It's a D8 plus 4 charges daily at dawn. And if you expend
8 plus 4? Damn.
well, it's got 12 total charges. If you expend the last charge, you roll a D20. If you roll a 1, it disappears forever.
Oh.
Just the staff inside the casing, though, right?
The gem technically would fall on its own, but you would
Okay,
lose
cool.
the staff.
Damn.
I wouldn't take both.
Gord, you definitely would take a liking to that, eh? You are Gord the
Yeah,
White
I
now.
like that staff.
It's yours.
You did
Healing
lose your
staff?
healing a long time ago.
Yeah,
Used to
it'd be
heal
nice
us
to
all
have
the
you back
time.
as a healer. Requires attunement?
So
I
it
think
requires
everything here is going to
attunement.
require attunement.
The gem on top doesn't technically prior to it, but it melts to become one. So
Yep.
Gord, you technically can add, if you want to, the Staff of Greater Healing and the Mastery Gem to your inventory. They're just tied together, but they're technically 2 different items.
It's called the Staff of Greater Healing?
Yep. It's there's a Staff of Healing. I made it better. That's why it's greater.
So. Wow.
That's 3.
Can I find
Oh.
that on D&D Beyond?
Yeah, if you go into inventory and just search Staff of Greater Healing and Mastery Gem, it should come up. If it doesn't, I'll add it for you. Same with Robe of Stars, if anyone is going to claim the Robe of Stars, or if you're going to put it in a bag of holding.
Definitely put it in a bag of holding.
I think that crystal sword, we basically know what that is, and we're not
Yeah.
going to keep it. So that doesn't need identifying.
Could put
We'll
it
let
in the bag.
Eli identify it. Admittedly, I'm also trying to think of what are things that our 3 friends can use. There's one for Eli. Is there anything that makes sense for, Aurora's already illusion-y. Those bracers have something to do with that.
Well, and Lav too.
And Lavender, I know, but she can't have all of the things. Or she
No,
only has so many
yeah.
attunement slots. But yes, we should think of Lavender as well.
What about? I think we should only do like one more.
I would say either the scepter, the
Yeah,
draconic one.
it's kind of what I mean too.
I
What
don't know.
was
The,
Sorry,
What's
what
that?
was it? I found it now. I got Staff of Greater Healing, and then what else was
Mastery Gem.
Mastery Gem.
Like
Mastery
Master.
Gem? Got it.
So you can you have to drop something else to be attuned to the Staff of Greater Healing because it's attuned, but the Mastery Gem is going to forego the issues of attunement.
The silver rod, I have no idea what that is. I don't know if that's something.
Why don't we do that? I mean, we've had a lot of draconic encounters right now. Why don't we do the scepter with the draconic going on?
Said something about draconic gods too. That's just interesting.
Sure.
So spend 11 more minutes at the end of our short rest looking at that rod, or sorry, the scepter.
Okay. There is no rush from Alfred. He doesn't do anything other than wait for you.
Yeah, he's been patient for a long time.
He's just chill. So the dragon-touched Jalarzi's dragon-touched scepter, or Jalarza, I don't know how to say your name, is a scepter plated in gold, silver, and platinum. It has clear draconic flair and design. There's even like a dragon kind of wrapping around that amber or golden orb. While you're attuned, which has to be attuned by a spellcaster. No class specific, just has to be a spellcaster. You get advantage on initiative rolls, and this can function as your focus for your spells. It has an ability called Draconic Ward. When a creature you can see within 30 feet of you makes a saving throw, you can use your reaction to give them advantage.
Cool.
And then it has a couple of spells that can be used once per day. It has Summon Draconic Spirit, but specific to metallic. There's it could be a chromatic, metallic, or gem. This is specific to metallic. It can do a legend lore. It can be a super new, cool, fun spell called Fizzband's Platinum Shield. Both Summon Draconic Spirit and Platinum Shield are dope spells.
Summon Draconic Spirit. That's pretty cool.
I pass.
Yeah, it's protective. Of course you pass.
And you already have, admittedly, Kev does have a lot of things that he uses as reaction.
You know what's interesting? Your eyes did light up when he said plated in gold, silver, and platinum. I saw you go, huh. And then when it got really protective, you're like, pass.
Admittedly, this would suit either Val, Lav, or Gord pretty well. The only issue with Val would be it could burn your reaction in case of counter spells for the Draconic Ward.
Or
shield. But 3 extra 5th and 6th level spells are never something to shake a stick at. Advantage on initiative rolls is just a nice little bonus.
That's nice.
For the 3 of you, if Hondo's less interested.
I pretty much have an open attunement spot. So one of these I'll definitely attune to. Don't need it right now though. I'll put that away. Yeah, I would just gently, very respectfully go around putting these in the bag of holding.
Sure.
Oh no, what do you think? Did that star one interest you a lot?
Yeah, that one so far would be the one.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Though
that is open to anyone
in their stead.
Pardon me?
Do you leave anything in their stead?
I'm trying to think of that. Is there something we can... maybe what I'd try to do, although I'm not good at this, so maybe I'd ask Allie for help because she knows rocks. Ask for help. Yeah, ask for help trying to identify if there's any of these stones that might be easier to, softer sandstone to carve something into, and just very shittily, because I'm not very good at it, just ask for initials of each mound, and just with a crappy dagger that I have, try to carve initials. It won't look pretty, but
yeah, go ahead. There's not really a check needed for that. Between the 2 of you, finding a good piece of each and just trying to make a little marker. About half of them only really have kind of one identifying name, like Bigby, Odaluk, Alhamazad the Wise, but it's really only Alhamazad, Nistel, and Tensor. Those are their only names. Jalarzi, her last name, it's JS. I can't remember the S part, but Alfred would know. Worn Starcoat, WS, an auto silver thread. It would take you a bit of time. You could probably get one more identify in while they're doing that, because that's a lengthy process to go through carving all of that.
I know.
But it's respectful. Sure, why don't we do one more then? I think that's really nice.
I'd say either the bracers or the rod, but that's just my curiosity.
Let's do the bracers.
Bracers?
Nistil's bracers?
Nistils. They are called Illusionists Bracers, developed with the intent of aiding with multiple minor illusions at once. They are not limited to that only. Whenever you cast a cantrip, you can do a bonus action, cast the same cantrip a second time.
So all of the Eldritch Blasts.
Yeah, you could double Eldritch Blast,
Fire
action,
Bolt.
bonus action. Action, bonus action, yeah.
It's true. Lav has a very small amount of bonus action, if any, things that she could use, right? So that actually might be good
The
for her.
only limitation is you have to use the same cantrip. So whatever the cantrip is, you have to do it twice.
But she
You
gets
can't-
another
You can't do a
chance.
second cantrip.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you miss, second one, bonus action. It's like a quick
Cast a cantrip twice as a bonus action. Cool.
Mhm.
Do they do anything else, or that's it?
That's it.
Cool.
Still useful.
Pass.
You don't have any cantrips.
Yeah, that's why. As
So Arcane
Mary's finishing
Arm,
up.
Quicksilver Rod, Dancing Rapier, and Animated Shield. Did you ever get an animated shield? I know, Brock, you wanted an animated shield. I don't remember if
He got an animated sword.
Yeah,
and then he
dancing-
sold
he has
it.
a
dancing.
Dancing
longsword.
sword.
I think
That's
he
what
still
it
has it.
For some reason
It
I
just
thought
doesn't
Yeah, I
function.
just-
not attuned.
I tuned it.
Yeah.
And
So
great
the
to put the
dancing-
healing in. Sick.
Dancing Rapier, Animated Shield, which you pretty much know what they do. Wand of Protection, Arcane Arm, and Quicksilver Rod are the only unknowns. Okay.
That arm is so dope.
Someone cut an arm off.
I know,
That seems weird.
but cool.
Or-
We'll find out about them later.
Yep. As Mary, you finish with Alana's aid, putting the last kind of touches on this little signifier. Val, are you just tucking everything here into your bag?
Or, like,
isn't
anything
that isn't already claimed?
Yeah, but I
Like,
would
it's all
say
going in one place.
yeah, I think so. I would say to Alfred, when you buried them, did you say anything over these markers, these resting places?
I don't believe I did.
Would you like us to say something now?
If you think it would be appropriate. Yes.
Well, as we take these relics of the Circle of Eight, we know that it is a great responsibility and that these were powerful men and women who gave their lives to stop evil and tyranny from hurting other people. And in their names, on their honor and on our honor, we shall do the same and protect good and destroy evil with these tools.
Well said.
I'll just touch each of the little markers, moving my way around. Should we meet the ancient wizard now, guys?
Are you ready?
We're ready.
Let's go.
Let's
Alfred,
meet
do you-
this guy up.
No. Alfred, do you have any idea what mood the master of the tower is in?
I am unsure. He's not typically in a good mood, so I would edge on that side.
Hondo, not in a good mood. So let's not push
Ancient
the guy.
Wizard.
Remember everything that was told to us about him. He has a huge ego, right? He's very easily offended.
Well-earned ego. He's
yes.
insanely powerful.
Incredibly Let's not insult the man.
Absolutely.
Or
I'm
his
warning,
robot companion.
If anything happens, Rust Bucket, you're being made into nuts.
I understand your threats. However, I think you will find them difficult to fulfill. Please follow me.
The latest way to
Yeah.
say fuck off ever. I love it.
Let's follow him.
He begins just walking towards the inner tower within the tower, and immediately as he approaches, the steps begin to just pop out from the side of the tower, and he just begins expertly scaling without missing a beat. The steps wait, and as you guys kind of follow, they actually move a little bit on their own. You can walk as well, but it's like when you walk up an escalator. It's like a little fast-paced move. As the last of you step on, the stairs stop immediately behind the last person. And it's just a slow progression up. You guys head up. You pass like a first kind of floor. You can see there are doors that like, there's not exactly like an entry or like a landing area for each one, but every so often, about 10 feet up, about 10 feet up, you can see like a break as if there would be like a floor level, but it continues. And Alfred kind of leads up first floor, then a second floor, and then he slows about midway up, basically halfway up this tower, halfway up the inside, at a black door, a black wood door. And he gestures and says, "Welcome to the study." And he opens the door and makes his way inside and just kind of gestures for you to follow inside, just kind of being the host.
Best behavior.
As you all slowly make your way inside, you see a study, as you would kind of expect to see. There's a rather expansive set of books on shelves. There's an immense hearth of this polished black tile. You can see there's a gently spinning orrery that hovers just beyond this wide desk that sits in the middle of the room of this dark wood, similar to that of the door. Across the surface of it, you can see there are quills and parchments. There's pottery mugs, and behind, you see a leather chair that is facing towards the orrery away from the door. As you kind of all slowly filter into this room, it's pretty expansive. It's bigger, you notice. It's bigger on the inside than you expected it to be. It's a little bit of expansion once you pass through the door from what you would assume the circular tower inside the tower. Maybe feels like it should be 10 to 15 feet in diameter. This room is at least 40 by 40.
Kyle, what's an orrery?
It's like a sphere that has it's like a way of viewing the planets and the solar system. Gotcha. If I'm not mistaken. If I am, that's what it is now.
That's what it is. Gotcha.
As you guys all enter, you notice it's bigger on the inside. The door closes behind as Alfred kind of closes. And Hondo, Mary, you both catch the sound of a click on the door. You just catch that a lock definitely closed behind you. It just gives you that little edge as you see the leather chair begin to kind of swivel. And it slowly turns, and within it you see nothing. Alfred steps forward and says, "My apologies, heroes of Vesaria. I have led you on a bit of a deception.
Yeah.
Mordenkainen has not been here for some time. Not here exactly, but he is here. I will do my best to explain.
You better explain well.
I will do my best to explain. My master is indeed Mordenkainen, and my duties are to him and this tower, and its protection, and its welcome of new figures who have come, and who I hope will aid. You see, in the battle and the lead up to the Battle of Dragon's Rent, my master devised a cunning plan A daring plan even, but most dangerous. He crafted, and he kind of gestures out a window that you can see the battlefield beyond, but also the kind of shimmering barrier beneath ice and snow. He devised this time lock, this very powerful magic, in such a way that he and the Circle knew that they would fail. They would fall. But so too would the Dragon Scourge. A means to an end, and a valiant sacrifice, for the greater good. However, in action, Mordenkainen found the Dragon Scourge a little bit more powerful than he may have perceived. His defenses were failing, and thus he found a loophole. He could not maintain his control over the time lock from this plane, and he could not leave within the time lock to any other plane of our outer planes, of our known planes. But the plane of time exists outside of all planes. And thus, this is where he went, a place he knew he would never age, never die, and therefore the time lock would be permanent. Before he left, he told me heroes, such as yourselves, would come to aid, to find, and to protect Vesaria. You are those heroes. You will save him, or you will destroy him, and save him in that way. Either way, you must go forth, seek him, end the time lock.
How did he get to this plane of time, Alfred?
An astute question. And he just like walks over to a bookshelf and like pulls it out, just pulls it straight out and then shoves it aside. And in the wall, you can just see this rippling tear in time and space embedded in the wall. Beyond it, it just kind of looks like kind of rainbow-hued lights around the edge, almost like several lines of light headed off into darkness. And just kind of otherwise just kind of crackling at the edge. This is a tear in space and time. Through here, you will find the demi-plane of time, and hopefully, Master Mordenkainen.
Is it dangerous?
Most definitely.
Can you lead us?
I cannot depart from this place.
Of course.
No idea how we get back, Alfred?
Unfortunately, I do not know.
Mordenkainen, you took his handy-dandy staff with him, right?
Most definitely. This is likely the key to the time lock. He could not leave it here and maintain the time lock.
We shouldn't go in there.
We have to. We shouldn't, but we have to.
I'm pretty sure we can't get out of here. That's the lock part.
This is a trap.
I mean, this whole thing has been a trap.
It's a trap. You know, Rust Bucket here is in on it too.
He's not in on it. He wants his master back.
He wants us to die for him.
I do not wish you to die, but I will follow my orders.
What are those orders exactly?
To ensure the heroes of Vesaria come to the aid of Mordenkainen.
Would you mind if we looked around this room a bit just to see if he'd left any notes on where he was headed and see if there's anything that could help us?
You are more than welcome to.
And what happens if you leave this place? Do you blow up or something?
I am bound by the laws of Mechanus to do as Master Mordenkainen has instructed, until his untimely demise or mine. And as I am inevitable, his will surely come before mine.
So if you walk through that portal, you would just hit a wall.
I cannot walk through that portal. I've not been instructed to.
What if I carry you through?
You cannot carry me. You are not strong enough.
Like a 10-foot tall solid steel.
Mary or Hondo, do you mind looking through this place to see if you left
doing
any
an
notes?
investigation, and I'm stealing everything.
I'll
that
look for
looks
actual
even-
useful shit. While
that
Hondo's
looks
looking
even
for things to
remotely
pilfer.
useful.
Sure, go ahead and make your investigation check.
I'm looking for notes, anything that time locky. I don't fucking know. I don't really know what I'm looking for, so maybe I'll take.
19.
Of course he rolls that. Maybe I'll take Gord with me because he knows magic stuff, and if I ever see something that's like vaguely magic stuff, just hand it off to him.
You guys. Sorry, Mary. What were you searching for specifically?
Notes.
Hondo was
or
looking
like,
for valuables.
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
looking for anything that might have to do with the time lock, or notes, or anything about this. Anything that has to do with time.
Okay. Investigation.
I'm making
check,
this gesture that no one can see. That's a very like meh
Time.
Hondo, you find
investigation.
you find several things that are of monetary value. There are old, like uncorked or corked, bottles of wine and like classic like liquors that have aged and presumably are better now. There are plenty of like expensive looking writing implements. There are books and leather tomes, and you do find a spell book which contains spell books or spells within it.
I give it to Gord.
The desk is fully like there are several drawers in the desk. You sift through the ones that are unlocked. There are several that are locked, which probably contain further valuables of some kind.
Sorry, go ahead.
You find on the one shelf there are a series of scrolls and like figures, and there are like pieces of like spell components. There are gems. There's no items or anything like that, but you can, and like there's art all around the room as well. Like this room is full of expensive things.
I clean it out because I have my
I guess it's
bag
true.
of holding. I have my pockets of holding.
You don't have a bag of holding, but you do have a jacket that can hold a lot. So you can stuff a lot of things in here. You can't take like any of the art objects necessarily; they'd be too big. You could take like some statues and things, like
And-
smaller busts.
Is there anything like maybe I have to do another investigation check? But is there anything that maybe not monetary value, but of great value to Mordecai?
Even continuing from that first check, it doesn't seem like there's anything beyond here. Like the spell book
Spell book. Yeah.
is probably a value, but you'd also collectively you can make a pretty good assumption he has one with him, and this is probably a backup, but that's still powerful and helpful. Like it looks fresher than someone who would have seen any kind of battle. So, but it still contains an archmage level spell book.
And finally, I'm going to try and open those drawers.
Yeah,
Go
that's a
ahead.
good idea.
Make
If
your
I can't
pistols.
pick the lock, I'm smashing the desk.
Go ahead.
This is how angry I am.
Make sure there's no magic traps on these things before you smash them.
16.
Plus,
Your
Thieves' tools, is it?
Mhm.
Where's Thieves' tool?
It's proficiency plus dex.
So my proficiency is +5 and my dex is +10. No, wait, that's saving. Sorry, +5. 10.
26.
And 16, 26.
Unless you're not expertised in thieves' tools, are you?
I don't think so, but regardless, pick 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Let's go with 3. Yeah, 3.
3? Okay. You unlock the third drawer on the right side. You unlock it rather quickly, and it was an impressive lock, but you're an impressive thief. This is a pretty deep drawer, and within it you can see on multiple different stacks are multiple different kinds of coins, and like it's like a mini bank of valuables and things where he would take to trade elsewhere. Like there is, you wager like maybe 3,000 to 4,000 gold in various denominations.
Yes. So do I get to add 4,000?
Yeah.
Yes.
That fills quite a lot of the weight of your smuggler's coat. Alongside
heavy.
Any of, like, if you want to take any of the expensive liquor bottles and art pieces, you could get another 500 in art pieces. And then, I mean, the spell scrolls don't take up weight, but they take up room. It still counts in cubic feet. So if you wanted to take any of those from the shelves, you could, and the spell book, and that would cap you out.
I'm gonna take some of I'll take some of that stuff and I'll put it in our team bag of holding.
Okay.
Just so I'm
Well,
not
what are you
carrying all of
what are you
it.
trying to put in here, pal?
It's
like-
scrolls, magic stuff, basically
This-
stuff that piece of shit, will need at one point, but now
Is this
doesn't.
contraband? Is this stolen goods?
This is all ours now. If he's gonna be so rude to us that he can't even meet us when he asks us to come, this is the price it will cost.
I will just reiterate. He didn't ask us to come. He knew heroes would come. He's not here to meet us because he saved the world, making an insane sacrifice to spend centuries in an endless plane where he could not die.
We also
You
just
guys
stole all
chose
his
to come
friends'
here.
shit.
You guys
You
Um,
stole
decided-
everything he values.
Scott, quick question. You and Lavender can, if things are concentration spells, you can learn them, right, from a spell book?
Only
concentration,
ritual
ritual.
spells.
Rituals, sorry, not concentration. Yes,
But
rituals.
yes, if there is a ritual spell, we could learn that.
Okay.
Tell you what, when we meet him, if he's nice, I'll give him some of his stuff back, but this tardiness will not be tolerated.
Okay, technically we're tardy by about 450 years, but I hear what you're
And this
saying.
tin can here, his mouth deserves all this to be taken.
I don't think he gives
Al?
a shit about any of this stuff.
Alfred has a name, okay? And it's Alfred. I'd love you to respect him.
I
guys,
rolled
you
a
ready?
28.
Yes, 28 for items about time. On the desk, not particularly needing a 28 for, there are many different papers and documents that you can see are mostly in Mordenkainen's hand about his theorizing about the demiplane of time. You can see that the stack of books nearest the desk, it seems to be similarly about the demiplane of time. Notably, no authors to any of these books, the tomes, but they're not in Mordenkainen's hand. So you notice that at the very least. If you want to take some time, you can peruse and learn, or anyone can.
The
What do you guys
notes
think?
on the desk, how many are there? Is there a way to flip through and just see if there's anything that's potentially the end of the notes, or if there's any conclusions without
take
sitting
time.
and reading all of it?
It would take time to really decipher, because there's a lot of equations and
Oh, fuck.
arcane sigils and equations.
It's above
not
my
only just
honestly, it's above my
literally
head
math
anyway.
equations. It's
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's
It's not
above.
like he
It's
says
above.
this is the time answer.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, this is all beyond me. It's a lot of magic shit, and he's obviously super fucking smart about it. You guys could sit and go through it. I don't know how much it'll help. We don't know what we're getting into.
I think we just got to take a leap of faith and go through this portal. We got to break this time lock. We're stuck anyways. And the answer's through that doorway.
You
Let's
want me to open
go
up
meet.
another drawer?
No.
I think we should probably. You've already kind of looking at the empty shelves. I think you got your revenge enough here, Hondo.
Oh no, just
I'll
for our help, to find them or something.
I'll start moving towards that door.
The
We'll join.
gate or the door?
The gate.
Like the rip in
The-
space-time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last time we went through one of these and we didn't time it right. Hondo, you took a while to get here and ended up getting shredded by time itself. So I think we should all do this at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are going through?
Let's hold hands and go
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got it. As you begin to go through, Alfred, just before you go, says, "Good luck, heroes of Vesaria. I wish you well on your journey. You will find Mordenkainen within, somewhere, in time." And he just stands there.
Alfred, if in 500 years some more heroes come through, tell them we say good luck, okay?
I will do my best.
Maybe be a bit more helpful to the next group that comes.
I start
I will
tugging
do
us
my
through.
best. You guys begin to travel through this warp in time. As you do, it feels similar to when you traveled through, you teleported through in various stages through the initial time lock, the barrier. This is similar, but less painful and more cerebral. It feels almost like your bodies and mind teleport and shift in different rhythms. Everything feels disconnected and almost like viewing yourself in third person, and then a shock wave of color and sensation hitting all of your senses at once. Everything tingles and prickles and feels cold and then very hot. And then it all fades away to darkness, black. You no longer feel your hands upon one another. You no longer feel a sense of spatial awareness. The passage of time is lost. And then just as quickly, it all rockets back to you. You stand in a tunnel, and it seems to stretch on as far as you can see, dimming into darkness. You stand still in the line, and directly behind you, the tunnel continues. There's no longer a wall or rip in space-time. You no longer see the study of the Alabaster Tower. This tunnel, just perpetual, straight emptiness as far as you can see. It's very dimly lit around you. And the light is coming from beneath. All along the floor, you see these hundreds of thousands of threads of light, almost like fiber wires, all running and light kind of cascading throughout them, just continually back and forth, hundreds of them. It makes a solid enough surface to serve as the ground. And you can also see that trailing from each of you, and one trailing beyond you down this long hall, you can each see these faint golden light threads that kind of just come from the small of your back, maybe between your shoulder blades, and just kind of trails off for maybe 2 feet, and then just kind of ends roughly. But you can see one of thread continues down a path ahead. Finally, to your left and right of this about 10-foot wide hallway, this tunnel, it's darkness above. You can feel a ceiling more than you can see it. It just seems like emptiness, but it feels oppressive. It feels like there's something there. You get that spatial awareness. But to your left and right, there are walls, but they are mirrored, and you see yourself immediately. It's not exactly you. There's slight variations. Eye colors are different, hair colors are different, maybe not wearing the same clothing, maybe scarred, older, younger, different gender. And you can see beyond them another version, slightly older, slightly younger, another version, and another. And they seem to kind of continue off into this mirrored realm of alternate realities. And you each see yourselves and the people around you, your friends and found family, just cascading into these mirrored realms on either side. Thousands of different versions and realities. You're in a space beyond space and time. What do you do?
Like tighten my grip, probably on Brawley's hand.
Yep, same.
Let's stay together. Let's keep following this thread. And I'll just take some steps forward following that one thread that leads on.
You begin making your way slowly.
Can I ask a sad question?
Mhm.
Are any of these Valentines holding Heartbreaker?
Make a perception check.
Leah, this music you sent me is going to make me cry. It's a natural 20.
Ugh.
You can see several hold different colors, different shapes. The hilts are a little different. Some you can see are vastly different. Some don't hold, obviously. And there are plenty that you don't see. But there's plenty of light within the imagery that you can see the telltale signs of a heartbreaker or a version, a reality in which any of you could have held and continue to hold Heartbreaker. You see some where Heartbreaker's light is black and darkened, and that kind of leaves a little dark spot in your heart. But you do see it.
That'll make me pause for a sec, and then I'll just keep walking after taking a little moment to look at them all.
That also being said, you see a couple of other Etheriuses as well.
I'll pat him. Keep walking.
You guys begin to follow single file. What's your marching order?
Well, Scott, you already kind of said you and Allie were in the front, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go first. I'm holding Barley's hand, so she's probably after me.
I can go after that.
Mary, Hondo, and Gord, who's in the rear?
I can go last.
You said you're an S-man.
You were also waddling, trying to shove last minute shit in your pockets as we were
The
going.
last remnants of your loot trailing behind you. As you guys begin to travel, you walk down this tunnel following this somewhat faintly lit golden thread. You walk. You're not sure for how long. Nothing seems to change. The versions of you in the mirrors are more and more difficult to look away from. All of these potentials. In each one you find something intriguing, something different, something maybe that you've thought of in your own current life. Are these just like a thought experiment? Are they actually other people? Are there other potentials and other realities in which these are living figures? Or are they just how you perceive yourself and how you could perceive yourself in another life? But still your own choices. And regardless, you continue to walk. You lose track of how long. Your internal clock says 10 minutes or 8 hours. You're not quite tired yet. You're not quite hungry. You're not quite anything. But finally, you seem to reach a change ahead. These kind of fiber wires of the floor begin to kind of downgrade. The walls begin to kind of ever so slightly widen. And you can see a faint light ahead. It's faint kind of yellowish light. You see a web of golden thread ahead of you. And about 15 feet shy, Val, Ali, Mary, Gord, Pondo, in that order, you guys can see that this tunnel kind of slowly lowers down into somewhat of like an intersection or a nexus. You can see a couple of little other tunnels and exits in similar fashion. You can even see yourselves in a couple of those mirrors, as every wall is the same mirrored refractions. However, what's interesting about this intersection, these several tunnels, you can see the web of thread. It intersects and overlaps and seems to have gone through every one of these different tunnels countless times, hundreds of crisscrossing bits of golden thread. What do you do?
Want to go like further in, like, are they all coming to meet somewhere in the middle of these threads?
There's a middle point where you can see that like you would have had to cross here to go to this tunnel, and then this tunnel would cross to this tunnel, and there's like an obvious intersecting point. And it's the highest concentration, obviously.
What happens if you like try to reach out and touch one of the threads themselves? Do your hand just wave through it? Does it just move? It's just...
You touch one of these threads or one of your threads?
I guess
scary time stuff.
Well, just you're saying the threads are like going through us, right? Forward.
There's one coming from the backs of each of you, and then there's a separate thread that's not connected to any of you, but seem to come from the same point, and it seems to continue forward. And now there's a series of hundreds of connecting threads, making this kind of intersecting web of thread.
And when you said it's like we're surrounded, like you're at an end of a hall of mirrors where you see reflections, can we look into any of those reflections and see if they're specifically different, or if they're all of us or one of us? Or is it not if it's not as specific as I'm imagining, it's more just flavor?
It's more flavor. It's just you can see reflections of yourselves across all surfaces.
That point, that solo point that leads forward, does it still lead forward into this weave?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'd like to keep following it forward. I'll like keep moving forward.
Sure. There's a tunnel that would continue straight forward. The thread that you were following begins to get lost in the mix. Like it's going to be past this edge of this hallway that you're in before it enters this intersection, this nexus. It will get lost within the thousands of intersecting threads, but it seems to lead straight to this another hallway that's like straight on, as if you would go underneath and continue just straight.
Let's try and do that then without touching any of these. Is that possible to try and go through?
It'll be difficult, but possible. Everyone
I'm
just
scared.
have to make a little check.
I'm scared about touching these things, guys. Why don't we try and make... What's up, Onda?
Throw something at it.
Like what? I was just thinking we try and avoid them, be all dexterous.
Let's just see what happens. Do you have a ball bearing?
So funny when you just prompt me to do the risky thing. I'm not throwing a ball bearing inside the time plane. You don't have to. We're totally safe in here.
But we should know.
That's a good point. Why don't you throw one at one of those weaves over there?
All right, I'll take a ball bearing and I'll throw it at a weave.
Oh God, my music just kicked in a scary way.
As you guys are kind of standing at the precipice of this, like, drop into this kind of intersecting space, Hondo, you pull out from your many binning pockets one of thousands of ball bearings hidden within the folds, and you throw it kind of into the middle, the heart of this web, and just no sound, and you see the threads kind of shift and move. They kind of are like still wiggling and waving where you threw it through. You definitely notice that those shifts carry like waves. And it seems to kind of go down a hall and comes back out another hall, through another hall. It's on all the halls. Suddenly all those waves are coming from all halls at once and kind of crashing into this intersection from this first initial throw.
Let's be careful not to touch them. That's good to know, Hondo, that they're corporeal, but with a spider's web, the more you touch the webbing itself and the vibrations, they bring a bad thing. So let's not try and bring things here. I don't want to end up fighting time versions of ourselves. I feel like that would end very badly.
Is there any sound, Kyle?
Make a perception check.
Yeah, music is getting scary as shit. 18. No, 17.
You're not sure, it's the best way I'm going to put it. You're not sure what you're hearing and what you think you're hearing. Every time you look into a refraction, into a reflection, into an alternate reality, there's almost a murmur in the back of your mind. Almost like every time you almost connect eyes with yourself, there's this faint whisper. It's difficult to make out exactly what it's saying. And you can kind of shape what it says. You have a modicum of control, but then you're not sure if it's you in the first place or if it's something else.
Yeah, this whole time, this is terrifying. The thought of seeing other versions. It's early, kind of curiously looking and seeing oh, well, what else could have been? That's cool. Until probably at some point seeing herself, but wearing Eldrazi colors and just stopping. And it can't look anymore at all.
You see several. You see...
Do they...
Good.
No, you keep going.
Over the course of however long this has taken, every now and again you catch yourself, you have that moment of seeing one and looking away and staring forward. But the curiosity just has to be sated, and every time you look back and you see someone, obviously yourself, but another version, and just behind them you see another version of yourself, a darker version. Every time you look, there's always this dark portent just beyond. And what hurts at this last moment as you're really listening and you hear these whispers, you look once more and the face you see isn't yours this time. you see your mother's face staring back at you. And just beyond, you see yourself in Eldrazi colors. And then another version. You tear your eyes away for a moment and you look back and it's just another you. It's at this moment you hear a faint shifting movement down a tunnel, one of the tunnels to the left. Mary catches it. Gord, Hondo, and Val, you all catch it a second after. What are you guys doing?
Squeeze Brawley's hand, put like fingers to my lips in this motion, and I'll draw Aetherius. Look at Mary.
Until you haven't said otherwise, you guys are still in the hallway that you started in. I would say at this point you're at the precipice of leading into this kind of intersection. So think of it like a rotunda, like a circular room, and we'll say 8 hallways, including the one that you're in, perfectly across from one another, and in the center, including from yourself, but there's only this one thread that seems to come from here. Hundreds and thousands of intersecting golden thread. In one of the 3, probably 2 tunnels to your left of the tunnel that you're in, you hear a shifting of movement. It's too difficult to really make anything out, but you hear something that at least 4 of you, unfortunately, Brawley's perception is not quite so high, but the rest of you catch a sound.
I'll poke Hondo and be like, just point it to my eyes, point it to my ears, point to the doorway.
Should I do an investigation?
I was thinking a stealthy perception with my expert hand signals there.
Sure.
So you're going to creep forward and take a look down one of these hallways?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You said stealthy, so go ahead and make a stealth check at advantage, because you always have advantage on
Rogues
stealth.
be rogues.
Rogues are rogues, and I gave you something to make you even better. Like super early days.
So 15.
Plus
And my stealth, I think, is 14?
400.
No, it's 15. So 30.
Solid 30. Hondo creeps forward. I will make a point of saying, beyond the tunnels, there's no cover. Like, it's an open room minus this thread. Like, there's no way that you're going to, if something is there, other than hiding against like the edge and just kind of looking down the corner, right? It's the only way you're going to see. So like, if you step into the light, so to speak, there's nothing to stop anything from seeing you here. This is an open territory and thousands of mirrors. Like, not a good place to try and hide in the open. But keeping that in mind that you're just going to kind of look down the corner a little bit. Make a perception check.
1 each.
Not a good start. 4.
But I think do you take the 10 with that?
Perception? Are you proficient?
Yes. So
Full circle?
automatic 10.
Okay.
So
what's that
12,
total?
22.
22. Highly unlikely they're going to see a 30, but let's just find out. Definitely not. Hondo, you edge closer, and you take a quick peek down the one immediately to the left of the tunnel that you were in. And you look, and you just see more of the same kind of like fiber wire floor and halls of mirrors. It almost fades to darkness even faster, with the exception of that golden light thread that's rocketing up and down this tunnel. You duck below, careful to avoid touching any of the thread. And to the next tunnel, 2 tunnels down from yours, about 30 feet down the tunnel and making its way towards you, I should say their way towards you, you see 3 8-foot spiders crawling along the sides of the wall, one on the ceiling, one on the floor. They are purple and black and chitinous. Their legs and arms are almost exactly like the floor, like they are like those kind of fiber wires of these multiple strands ending in this kind of faint light, and they're just skittering forward. They're making their way rather fast. What do you do?
This is on you, pal. You saw them.
So I see that, like I just see the movement, right?
You see them coming
towards you.
towards you. They're about 30 feet out right now.
3 purple spiders.
About 10 feet, 8 feet in
I'm gonna move back.
width. Another stealth check.
Okay. Four. But I
Take
guess
the 10.
You're
stealth is
proficient.
an automatic 10 too. Yep. So 15 and 10, 25.
You very quietly and rather quickly duck around the corner back to your friends, feeling pretty confident that you are quiet. What do you do when you get back?
And I tell them there's spiders there. Big ones.
I will poke my head out. You described, is there like a thread coming in from the tunnel to our left?
To your left, yeah. Every
I will
tunnel
use-
but the one that you have has like series of threads coming through.
I'll use Mage Hand and pluck it, and then duck back in and just like try and wait in that tunnel.
Okay. Everyone makes stealth checks. Hondo, you already made one. You're fine.
Oh. I feel like
Natural 20.
ooh.
Natural
Yeah.
20.
Hey!
Oh boy! Oh boy!
I mean,
So
now
that-
that we know they're spiders, we should just fight them.
That's a 31.
Nice. Cord Alley.
14.
Well,
Everyone just tucks up against the mirrored wall on the left side. Just everyone gets real close, arms out, quiet. And now everyone can kind of hear this faint kind of skittering sound. Multiple legs, many legs, all shifting and moving all at once. You don't really see anything beyond what you're hiding. But you can just hear this faint, not even language, but just kind of sound. Just shifting and moving, this faint shifting movement of, you can assume would be spider legs across glass. And you can all see the golden kind of thread shifts and bends. And you watch as one of the spiders kind of climbs across and shifts down into a tunnel off to the right. You can see one kind of, you watch it, because you guys are all good stealth for the most part. You watch as it climbs up and has like a spool of thread or web and kind of hangs down in the middle of the room and just kind of has its 4 arms on the thread atop in the center of the room. And it's just kind of hanging down from this non-existent ceiling. And it's just kind of holding in the middle of the room like a guardian, just seemingly watching. There's only one.
Did we try to?
What do you do?
I just look at my spells.
Nothing. Kyle, can you confirm that we do know which way the main thread we're following goes, or we're not sure
You
if it goes
have
straight?
this one thread that leads presumably straight, but there are now thousands of threads beyond, and you will lose it past this point. It seems like, straight, and there's a direct tunnel straight down the line across this kind of open space, this open room. But you're
It
not
could
sure
be.
at this
It
point.
could be any of these tunnels. And
Easily.
Fury.
Easily.
Can I? You tell me if this is believable.
Mhm.
As watching this spider move, can I try and perceive? Does this thing have sight? Do its eyes see, or is it doing this all by like movement on the webs?
You can either make a survival check or an animal handling check.
They're both the same. I'll do survival.
Sure.
Oh, it was gonna be good, but it's not that good. 9.
It's too far away and there's 8 eyes to try and get an idea of which one's looking where, and whether they are looking or feeling. It's really too difficult to say. It does have its limbs on the thread, so there's at least an idea that it's seeking the vibrations. It's seeking to feel that, but you're not sure if it can also see or that's how it's relying on its sight. With that, you're not sure.
I'll turn back to the group and
I
just.
do want to point out before you say it, sorry, I just want to point out one thing. You do hear, as like you're having this moment, the one went off to the right, you hear another one head down close to you, so in the tunnel next to you, seemingly following that plucked thread. And it begins kind of skittering away, and you can hear it dissipating.
What were you gonna say?
Turn back to the group. I was just gonna do like a shrug face, and then just try and go like point at the tunnel to the right of us and go like pluck my hand. Shrug face.
Do you have Mage Hand?
I could also, I'll reach into my bag of holding and take out the jar of ice spiders and just shrug at them and kind of swirl them around inside.
Just a shaking head, like, do we want to damage timelines?
And then I'll slowly put them away. What was that, Hondo? Remember, if you talk, they could hear you, so just be careful.
Spiders versus spiders. We want it.
We want it. It is scary if we were to cut these timelines. Well, my mage hand only has 15-foot reach. How far away are these tunnels? Like, could I reach the tunnels past the ones immediately adjacent to us?
You would not be able to get past the ones immediately to your left and right. It's almost like tunnel. Yeah, it would be tunnel. Each tunnel is 10 feet wide. Then there's a 10-foot gap, then 10 feet, 10-foot gap, 10 feet. So it would be beyond.
So 30 foot would reach that though, right?
Oh, yeah. If you wanted to go 2 over.
So I'll go 2 over to the left and cast a minor illusion of a sound of like a clattering of pots.
Okay. Go ahead and make a stealth check. Yeah, just make a stealth check.
Sure.
And
21, 30.
Does minor illusion have a verbal component?
That's good to know. Let me see. Just S and M.
Okay, so just somatic and material. So there's not the verbal component would have given you disadvantage.
Made it tricky. Yeah.
With no verbal component, it is just a
yes, S and M, Leah. It is an S and M.
You manage to make this clattering of pots, and immediately you can see the spider that's kind of dangling, and up on top, it like dissipates.
It's gone. Or
Right.
I guess.
Is it gone or invisible? Can I use my
that's the
bonus
scary
action
thing.
to try to... I have a thing where I can try to spot invisible creatures.
Do it.
Technically, you didn't see that.
Cool, never mind.
You're 3 people down and
Can
hiding.
I poke?
Nope, that's fair.
Valentine could if Valentine translates that essentially, then you could try.
You tell
that.
me
But
if this is acceptable.
from this moment, you don't have line of sight.
That's fair.
I'll like lean back in and point at Mary, point to my eyes, and then point back up to where the spider was and be like, which was me covering my eyes and then opening my hands with a puzzled face.
You could interpret that in a couple of ways, but it would either ultimately ends in a perception check.
It's
You know
weird.
what's smarter? I will open my hand up in minor illusion the spider and then go like this and then minor illusion like it popping away and then do that.
Yep. With no verbal component, no problem.
Cool.
Gesundheit. Mary, go ahead and make a perception check.
21.
You make your way kind of shifting forward in the hall. You hear a couple of things. One, you can see 2 tunnels down, one of these spiders is kind of like crawling up and around the entry, kind of been circling the threads, and you can see the threads are shifting as another spider kind of crawls along the threads out from that tunnel. The 2 spiders have converged and they seem to be conversing in some capacity. You don't hear language or anything, but they're kind of looking at one another. There's some kind of interaction. From the tunnel to the right, you see the waves and you can kind of begin to hear the shifting of movement coming that way. And from the tunnel directly left, you can also hear the shifting of movement. And from the tunnel directly across from the one to your left, you can see the waves. It seems there is a convergence of 4 to 5 of these creatures all coming together now. Whether this will dissipate after this moment, or they have finished their investigation, or they're ramping up their investigation, that you cannot tell.
Okay, just step back and do like 4 fingers, questioning face, 5 fingers, questioning face, putting up like even more, questioning face. I think out of game. We don't know where we're going. We think we might be going straight, but we don't know for sure. We have to try to figure out how the fuck to follow this thread, right? That's our only clue so far, is that we're following a single thread. So we could fuck up and go the wrong way. Just talking it out.
Before you talk it out, unfortunately. Hondo, you're waiting. You've stealthily, finished your investigation and you shifted back into the line here. And as you're kind of falling back in line, everyone tucked up against the left wall just to keep out of eyesight. You most of all. And you're tucking up and you're looking kind of over your left shoulder down this line up towards the entry where all this is happening. And out of the corner of your eye, you see the reflection of yourself. And the hundreds of reflections past that. And this one looks back at you and meets your eye. You can see the eye that it's meeting you with is black. And all of these reflections have more or less been kind of meeting you all with the same reflection, the same face that you give it. If you said hello, it would mimic. It's a mirror. This one doesn't. It gives this kind of wry grin, and you begin to feel around your pockets and your coin purse a shifting. You look down and you see this kind of piercing hand coming through the glass of the mirror, reaching for Whisper.
So I'm going to grab it and I'm going to cut the hand. Actually,
hand,
yeah, I'm gonna cut that.
this hand is about like it's a couple of fingers through the glass, and as it's just about to grasp hold, you draw Whisper back, and this echoing cacophony of glass, the entire pane just explodes in front of you, Hondo. The glass hangs in the air, and there's just this vacuous void, and it's just horrid sucking sound. All spiders hear, and it just begins to echoingly converge over your tunnel. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh no.
Fuck.
Hope you're enjoying this week's episode. If you like what we're doing here, check out the other videos on our YouTube channel, including D&D tips, discussions, recaps, character interviews, and more. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Hexplorers DnD, or join us in the live chat when new episodes premiere on YouTube each Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for watching. Now back to the episode.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Oof.
Classic Hondo.
I mean, at least you add 1 billion.
All right, 25 to 20.
23.
Brock, you did have a short rest, so in theory you should be fully healed and regained all of your spell slots for being Warlock. 23 for Val. 20 to 15.
18.
Nice, Brawling.
Yeah.
Ellie, Mary?
19.
19.
Oof, good job.
Shit. 15 to 10.
13.
Well,
Pirate twins.
Awesome. Okay. We're just going to do this a little theater of the mind business.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Let's play a little loosey-goosey here. The tunnel is about 10 feet wide, as I've described. Each of you are within roughly 5 feet of one another, and almost right at the edge that would lead into this greater room, which you can roughly say is 40 to 50 feet in width and rough and circular, so 50-foot diameter. Keeping in mind, this thread is intersecting on all sides, and obviously seems to be connected to drawing these creatures towards you. Directly behind Hondo is a shattered, vacuous hole in time and space. Beginning off with Valentine. Val, you do not see any spiders on you yet from within the tunnel, but if you peek out, you might see more. You can hear at least 4 sets of 8 coming towards you.
Do I see what happened to Hondo back here?
You heard it. And as you kind of begin to look, you can see the shattered glass is still kind of hanging slowed in the air, and this vacuous sucking sound. Everyone heard that. And you can hear this drawing sensation, and you can kind of begin to hear, you can see like Hondo's cloak or his coat, his smuggler's coat, the edges are kind of flapping towards this.
Can I spend my turn grabbing Hondo and pulling him away from that hole?
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead and make a strength check.
Oh no. Not bad. 14. And I will even burn, because I don't want you to die here. This is could I use an inspo on this? Is this an ability check?
Yep, it's an ability check, not a saving throw.
Okay, so I'm gonna burn a d10 with my peerless skill. So it's 20, dirty 20. Added a 6.
In this case, you'll be giving Hondo advantage on a save.
Yeah. Sweet.
So you're holding him and pulling back,
Yeah.
but you're not physically pulling him. There is a sucking sensation that's happening. But Hondo on his turn will get advantage on his saving throw.
Cool. I'm down.
That's your action.
I think the Peerless might be a bonus. Let me just look at it.
No, it was your action to grab it.
Yes. And oh no, it's not. I wondered if using that Peerless skill thing was a bonus action.
No, you can still do bonus. And you've used your movement for the most part, but
I will inspire Hondo here.
Okay.
I'll be like, "Don't you fall in, you crazy fish man."
You're not
Val,
gonna
you move
beat me that
back.
easily.
You move back, holding onto Hondo, pulling him back, but you can feel that sensation as well yourself. That's going to end your turn, Mary.
Okay, spiders are moving towards us, or we're not sure yet?
You're pretty confident they're moving towards the sound.
Okay, I'm just gonna take a step away from the vacuous hole, just in case.
Yep.
Not super far, but like if I don't know how much I feel the section.
From this distance, not too bad. You're 10 feet
Okay,
away.
then I'll stay because I don't want to be too far from everybody.
You'd be
I'm
10
just
feet
gonna-
away from the hole and 10 feet away from the hole where the spiders are coming.
I'll just pull Mage's Bane back out. But I imagine that's my normal sword. I would have swapped it out after I knew we weren't fighting a dragon anymore. I'm just gonna hold an attack in case anything comes to attack me or my friends.
You got it. You just kind of take central position, ready for a fight.
Yeah.
Nothing for a bonus, and you're good.
Bonus action, can I make a perception check? With eye for detail?
Mm-hmm.
It's a 23, but let me just check what my perception is. Yep.
Two things. One, 4 spiders definitely bearing down and quickly making their way. You can gather based on the sound, based on kind of like almost like triangulating the refracting sound. They are going to be here rather soon. They can move rather fast, and will be converging, and they're big enough to like fill this hole with easily one, but they could fill here 2 or 3 at a time.
Okay.
They obviously can crawl in all surfaces, so they can easily just begin filing in this way. You do hear something else, and you're focused on the tunnel entrance where the spiders are coming from, but out of the corner of your eye, you see one of you in your reflection, sword at the ready. You got 2 swords at the ready, and you can see, you look over, and it's parallel, exactly like you, but you can see this look in your own eyes, and your eyes go silvery, and your body begins to kind of turn and tap your swords against the glass, and there's this little grin, and they bring the butt down, and you can see it. It's not broken yet.
This is not good.
There's a splinter.
This is not good, guys.
Mary, that's the end of your turn. Alana, you're muted.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing as Mary and just hold an attack.
Okay, you get yourself ready.
Yep.
You can see the Mary clone, for lack of another word, take that hammer down, and it just splinters. You also catch, as you kind of take your defensive stance, right behind you, about 10 feet, almost in line with where Gord, Hondo, and Valentine currently are, one of those spiders appears.
Oof.
But just above, kind of hanging over top of the 3 as you take your turn.
Should I whack it, guys?
The spiders might be our friends. They might be safe.
Yeah, no,
creatures
that's
in
what
this
I'm
place.
thinking.
Whack
The
it.
fact- Yeah, yeah. I'll
Because
I said I was holding my turn until something attacked us. So
Yeah.
until like I
Attack.
know that.
Don't do it. Whack.
Oh
Because
no, the only thing that attacked us was you. You're a scary version.
if it's our friend, it will tell us that after. But until then,
You could
it's our
After.
enemy.
prepare. You could
After we
prepare.
murder and
Yeah.
anger them.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah, I'm
prepare an
holding.
action. Yeah.
I'm not going to be the
Oh.
one to make that call to hit if they're accidentally friends.
No.
No, thank
Alana
you.
holds Mary. Mary, you're holding melee. Alana has at least the option to throw. So
Yeah,
keep that
I'm
in
holding
mind.
melee until something attacks us.
Okay. Allie holds. Nothing for a bonus.
Nope.
Okay.
Just yeah.
That takes us to one of the spy bears.
What the fuck was gonna do?
The one that is up top, Hondo and Val, and about 5 to 10 feet away from Gord. You watch as it's kind of it's upside down above you. At this close proximity, Val and Hondo, you both look up, and it's directly above you. And its 8 eyes are bearing down atop you, and you can see its mouth open wide. This close, you can see there's some weird distortion to it. Like 2 versions are overlaid over top of each other. But that doesn't stop it from trying to bite you.
Told you.
Against...
I'm holding him.
You would technically be in the back, so you'd be the one to...
Yeah.
That's a 25 to hit.
Yep, I'll hit.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
You got it. 17.
That is a success.
Con saves terrify me.
What am I D10s at? On the bite, you suffer 11 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Oh, wow. And 26 reduced to 13 points of piercing damage. Or, poison damage.
Poison? Oh my. Okay.
That ends its turn.
Is that close enough for Allie to throw her hammer to attack?
Allie could hit for sure. If you
Yeah?
wanted to throw. It
Okay.
attacked, and it's within 10 feet of you.
Okay, I'll throw then.
Okay.
Okay, 21 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. 20 damage.
Okay. You immediately huck the hammer. It strikes hard. I'm sorry. You have disadvantage on that.
Oh. Like 16 and 19.
You're still good. So still goes exactly as instructed. You watch as it strikes. That double displacement fades as soon as it gets hit, and it actually drops it from the ceiling, and it lands and kind of skitters back, still within 5 feet of Valentine, but now on the ground. Your hammer flies back. You can go for your second strike if you want.
Sure. Oh, disadvantage?
Not now.
No? Okay. That is 17 to hit.
That'll hit.
Ooh, 28 damage.
Okay. With that, your hammer just their head just caves in, and the spider just falls limp. And your hammer with just the sick sucking sound and just splattering of gore. That one is destroyed.
Oh man.
Hope that doesn't come back to bite us in the butt.
It bit me in the face, so.
Allie's held action. Mary still held Hondo on your turn. I need you to make a strength saving throw. You have
With advantage?
inspiration and advantage.
With inspiration, you said?
If you need it.
If you need it.
Well,
Well, you
first
have
one's
advantage
5.
Okay. Roll again with
You
advantage.
have advantage, so.
Second one is a 1.
Hey, why
Yeah,
don't you
but-
use that inspiration for
I
that
will.
5?
The D10.
Oh, D10, sorry. Okay.
What's your strength?
Gives me a 10.
Okay.
My god.
Plus
Okay.
your strength.
And my strength is...
Saving throw, right?
It's a saving throw?
Yep.
Plus 3.
8 plus 10, 18.
Hondo, where this void is sucking you through, You are being pulled, and Val, you are skidding along behind him. He is pulled right up to the edge, and like Hondo, you are at the edge. You're just holding on to the edges of the two mirrors on either side. Your like lower half is being pulled in, and Valentine currently is the only one holding you back. That was not enough, and you were being sucked into whatever this is.
Black hole.
Yep.
Do I have a chance to like? I'm gonna throw Whisper and like try and hit the wall in the back and like teleport.
Go ahead and make an
That's a
attack roll.
really good idea.
Could I take Valentine with me?
No.
If he's
No,
holding me?
It's only a one-person teleport.
Okay. So my roll is a 15.
Okay, that's
good.
plenty. With Whisper's 13 is 28. You just, in a fit of desperation, you just throw Whisper over your shoulder, over Valentine, and it collides directly on the opposite wall. Immediately, you teleport, and your hand connects to Whisper on this side.
No.
It's mirror on either side, and your Whisper connects with this side, and you can see another Hondo. This one, a distinguished captain. You can see him in navy attire, and this kind of older, distinguished look, still in the exact pose as you, but his eyes meet yours, and they go silver. And rather than this entire mirror shattering and you seeing a black hole, a hand reaches out and pulls you through, and you are being pulled into this kind of liquid mirror now. We'll find out what happens there. You have a bonus action if you want to do anything with that.
I have
Oh.
I remember I have like a grappling.
I think you have a grappling hook.
I'm going to throw it at Valentine,
Okay.
and I'm gonna say, either you're pulling me out or you're coming in.
Okay. Do you throw it to like hook onto him,
Mm-hmm.
or for him to catch?
No, it's grabbing him.
I love how
go
you
ahead.
do this at the bard, the skinny little bard, instead of
Yeah.
the tanky, beefy, super strong barbarian.
Women.
No, but he's
Women.
closer, right? Like he's easier to.
We're all around.
Like, would it be
No, yeah,
harder?
I mean,
like,
It's
You've
definitely
already said what you're doing. I'm just joking. It's funny.
no.
But
Valentine is your obvious choice. Alana is the strongest, but she's 10 feet away. That's a much harder throw to hit. Valentine's 5 feet from you. Like it's a much easier hit. You still have to roll basically an attack roll to see if you can hit Valentine's AC to hook around his armor plates with the grappling hook.
Do I
So-
shield this?
14. What is the
plus your
check?
Plus your dexterity, plus proficiency in this case. So
So
plus
dex.
10.
So plus 10, yeah, 24.
It hits.
Val,
I'll allow it.
you suffer 2 points of damage as this grappling hook kind of scrapes the back of your neck and hooks the armor right at your like horse collar, right at the back of your cape, and just yanks you back, just as you are now being pulled into this
Yeah,
vacuous space
seriously.
that Hondo has left.
Yeah, dipped on me.
So now basically on both sides, Hondo's being pulled into the
Oh
mirror.
god.
You're being sucked into this black hole. and
Nether
there's
realm.
Just this grappling hook between the two of you, and we'll see how that plays. Gord, it is your turn.
I don't even know what to do.
Can Gord see any spiders? No more spiders.
No, but he can definitely tell that they are coming and they're about to kind of creep around the front of the tunnel.
Hondo's also being sucked through glass.
Hondo and Gord or Hondo and Valentine are being sucked into opposite sides of these halls.
Well, Lord of the Rings taught me anything. I shall cast Wall of Light.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Where?
It's not going to be good for my light sensitivity in this mirrored place.
I don't know. Just like in a.
Could do it in front of our thing.
How wide is the hallway?
Do you want to stop? The hallway is 10 feet wide. Do you want to stop, try and like blind things outside and try and put it across the edge of your tunnel so that anything outside has to cross through it and is blinded potentially? Or do you want to put it down the center of your hallway and illuminate, your own hallway, and that in theory could potentially blind you as well, but you could use it as an attack?
Let's go with the first option.
Oh, the light erupts as you focus on this wall of light, and it just you catch 3 immediately.
Nice.
And the blindness of it, they're right there. If I'm not mistaken, it's a blind effect. If you want to copy the thing into the chat. Let's see.
Blinded by the light.
Wall of light.
A shimmering wall of bright light appears at a point you choose within range.
The wall appears. Each creature in the area must make a con save. On a fail, they take 4d8 and they are blinded. Let's see. What did I say? Con save? That is a 5, a 7, and a 17. I believe all fail.
All fail?
Yep.
So go ahead and roll 4d8 radiant damage, and they are each blinded.
$15.
Okay. Blind spiders. 15. Okay. Gord, you're concentrating. You're concentrating on this wall of light now as you just kind of step into the middle of the room, and it immediately kind of illuminates the entire tunnel, and you can see, it does kind of refract off of all the mirrored walls, and it just illuminates this entire space. And you can hear these 3 hissing sounds beyond, seemingly connecting. Let me do math real quick. What's that? Okay. That's your action. And it worked. You hit them all. Anything else? Bonus action? Movement?
No, I'm good.
Just hold your focus on that. At the end of Gord's turn, when a wall appears, on a blinded creature can make con save at the end of each of its turns to try and end. Creature that ends its turn in the wall's area that takes 48. Okay, so it's not going to end its turn, but they can walk through it. And then you can attack them with radiance. Cool. They are blind, but that's not going to stop them. They're coming in. Mary, you see 2 of these spiders begin to make their way, crawling along the walls on either left and right of you.
I'm in range of both?
Yep. They're big enough that they kind of reach into the middle, and you can hit both.
Okay, left-handed, so I'll do the left one first. That's a lot.
It's not a particularly hard AC.
Yeah, it's very high. It's like 28. Okay. Oh no. Okay. Let me figure out. Sorry. I have to find my D4 because I didn't have it out. There we go. Where the heck did my D8 go? Okay. First one. Do I have any other people in melee with it? Sneak or no sneak, essentially?
No, unfortunately. You're now kind of the tip of the spear.
Okay. And do I have disadvantage? I know Allie did.
You do, but let me just double check. If blinded gives you advantage. Attack rolls against have advantage.
Okay,
so
straight roll.
Straight roll. So you already hit.
Yep. So that's shit. Sorry. I had the wrong sword in my inventory. I fixed that. 12 points on the first one.
Okay. The second one you have advantage on as that distortion fades after you hit.
Okay. Yeah, good, because that was a natural roll. And that's a 23.
23 hits, definitely.
18.
The first one on the left, you just carve dead. It just
Cool.
On the right, final.
One more attack. Do I have disadvantage on this, or same thing?
Straight roll.
Evens
on the first
out.
one.
Yep. 24.
Hits.
19 points.
Okay. Yeah, you strike and you stop that distortion once more, and you just kind of pierce through, but it's still kind of still alive. That's your held attacks. It now takes its turn as it's coming in. After you attack, this one is going to try and attack you at disadvantage because it's blind. Nope. 9. That's a miss. And the final one is going to make its way in. Also going to try and attack you at disadvantage. Nope. 8. Both miss. End of turn. Valentine, I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Strength. Do I have any advantage because I'm grappled from behind?
No, but it could mean Hondo comes with you, which could be fun.
Okay, that's a good compromise. Oh, it was almost good. This is a saving throw. 7.
Hondo, you can hold the grapple, and you will be pulled away from your mirror, but you're not sure whether Valentine, or you'll be pulled in with Valentine, or you can let go and let Val go, and you can possibly slip into your own mirror side. What do you do?
Nah, hold on.
Okay.
What a friend.
Yeah, bad roll. The mirror, you, this distinguished captain, it's slips, and you're still holding Whisper. You feel Valentine just, all of you, with the exception of Mary, who's focused outwards. Actually, Gord, you'll be focused with Allie and Hondo. You watch as Valentine is just holding, and you feel the glass cracking on your left and right, and you just are sucked into darkness. Hondo, you just holding onto that rope, pulls you from danger, but pass into darkness.
So I went from one mirror to the other.
And you slip beyond both Valentine and Hondo. You just tumble into emptiness. Mary, what are you doing?
Oh, man. Was that my turn, or was that just a round you were calling to see what happens?
That was your turn.
Fuck, and that's all I can do? Just fall through?
You were just... It was the strength save to give you a turn, or...
Okay, gotcha.
Mary, at this point, you miss Val going in, but you turn just in time to see Hondo pulled through.
Fuck.
There's still one spider to your right, and another to your left.
Are they... Am I able to try to look to see, is it just complete black void, or if there's anything?
You want to make your way over to it? Or just from a distance?
How far am I?
10 feet. I will also say you see mirror you take another crack, and it just... And you can see distinguished old man Hondo is pushing out, and you can see up to a forearm, up to the elbow, is coming out in this kind of Terminator 2 mirrored metal man.
Well, last time Hondo tried to deal with that, he busted the hole in the void. There's 2 spiders. I already took a good chunk out of one.
Yeah, one is on its on. You've got a sword still pierced through it.
Yeah. I'm going to. Okay, I'm gonna finish off the one spider.
Okay, good.
At
Make
least.
attack.
Call.
Straight roll. They get this distortion back top of their turns.
That wasn't a great roll. Rolled a 5 on the dice, but that's an 18.
You hit.
Okay.
It's not hard to hit. Big spiders.
13 points of damage.
Yeah, that's enough. He just kind of and just falls.
Okay. If I have 2 more attacks, am I in reach of another one?
Yeah, another one came in to fill the void where you killed that first one.
Okay.
It will be the last spider that you can hear currently. But
yeah, I'm trying to clear this so no one else takes damage from anything else before we deal with it.
Okay.
That's gonna hit. It's a natural 13.
Yeah.
Ooh, not good damage. 12.
Okay. Roll the next one.
Last attack. It also hits. Ooh, max damage. 20.
Yeah. With that, you pierce in. The blade does nick another mirror as you're attacking, but it doesn't seem to have carved through fully. But at this point, you hear, and the mirror used shatters another mirror behind you. You're far enough away that you're not immediately pulled in, but you can see 2 vacuous emptinesses and 1 mirror figure trying to pull himself out.
Can I take a step back now to the one where Hondo kind of fell through?
Hondo and Val, yeah.
Like, just so I can get a better
Gord at this point.
Just so I can get a better view of what the fuck's going on and see if I can bonus action try to see or hear them. And I'll also like kind of call out.
Perception.
I'll call out. Just. Don't you tell me you fucking fell in. Can you hear me? That's it. Very good. 23.
You look in, and immediately it's just like a black void, but just like trying to focus and trying to keep your distance, you see more of that golden thread, but it's very far away. But it seems to kind of stretch on and on and on and on, and massive. Hundreds, thousands, millions. This immense web of time and space. You do not see your friends. You don't see any individual thing. Just potential, reality, time.
Is there a thread that like went with them through?
Yep.
Tell me whether or not this is if it's not a projection, that's fine. I'm just gonna try to like loop a finger around that thread.
Yep,
I don't know if it does anything. I'm just trying to see if it reacts at all, or if I pull it, like tug at it if it's taut.
You can touch it. You can feel physical. It's kind of like, it's thicker than you expect. It's harder. There's no warmth or cold. It's just kind of there. But you can kind of pull back and forth, and it doesn't seem to have any weight.
Okay.
That was a good idea.
I think that's the end of your turn.
Yeah.
Elena.
Okay. Are there any other... I saw them disappear.
Yep.
Are there any other spiders
There are
around
no
me?
other spiders. You don't hear anything coming. The only thing currently that is potentially a threat, besides these 2 vacuous voids, you can see that there's a mirror creature like pulling itself out, like T2000, whatever the Terminator 2 like metal guy is.
Mm-hmm.
He's like coming through up to a torso now, pulling himself through and beginning to rise up.
Can I smash it with my hammer?
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck yeah, you can.
Seems like the right thing to do.
Yeah. Okay. 25 to hit.
Yeah, it's you.
Uh, 19.
20 damage. Sweet.
Yeah.
20 points of damage.
No, 19.
Where you bring your hammer down on it, and that thunderous kind of wave kind of cascades out. You see the mirror just splinter, seemingly vulnerable to that thunder. It's not dead, but it's you heard it.
It hit him again.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it one more time.
Okay,
Okay, 26 to hit.
that'll hit.
$17 damage.
Okay, 17, 34. Nice. Yeah, you crack it, and you can see it just splinters, and you can see holes like falling through, and it's just empty void within. It's just the husk of a mirrored half man. That's your attacks. Are you just gonna stay there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And no, I don't need to rage. I'm good. Yeah, I'll just stay there.
Okie dokie. At this point, this creature begins to pull itself fully out of the mirrored realm, and it stands a full 6 feet tall, now kind of shattered and broken, but otherwise a full humanoid of mirrored glass and metal. And you can see like a face begin to kind of form. It looks alien. It doesn't look necessarily human. Like it's got kind of humanoid features, but it's a human alien kind of hybrid where it's uncanny valley, like not properly human. Its eyes are just metal. There's no definition beyond just this metal and glass. But it does reach out to you and attempt to do some attacks. And I'm going to need an intelligence save from you.
Oh no.
It's the Silver Surfer.
Kind of, yeah.
Kinda.
That's a good way to put it.
Oh, not great. 9.
9 is a fail. I'd like you to roll. Wait.
Oh boy.
Okay, never mind. We'll come back to that. As it reaches out, it doesn't so much hit you as it like pierces its hand forward, and you feel like this psychic sensation spike down. I mean both these hit. 24 and 23 to hit.
Yeah, they both hit. Damn, I should have raged.
There's this faint piercing sensation where it does strike, it only for 7 points of slashing damage, but an additional 18 points of psychic damage as it just kind of tears through your mind. The second one goes, and it's not, again, like not a super big pierce, but it gets underneath here, and it just like jabs, and you just feel this psychic pulse for 25 points of total damage. And I need to write that down. Gord, where do you?
It's nothing really. Just long arc concentrated. Just keep damaging people with my light.
You can use it to shoot light at this guy because he's the only creature on the field. So you can make a ranged spell attack and you deal 48 radiant damage on a hit.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's go ahead and make a ranged spell attack.
What do I roll for that?
Just do a d20, and then I will pull up your spell mod.
It's a 6.
Spell mod plus 10, so 16 total. Unfortunately, does miss. As you basically pull the light from ahead, and you just kind of shoot it down the tunnel, and it connects, but the radiance kind of just splinters off, and just like kind of like a prism, it just kind of splinters around and becomes rainbow hued, and doesn't seem to deal any damage, unfortunately. Not that it wouldn't work, just in this case, managed to not pierce a good spot. That's your attack. Is there anything you want to try with your bonus action movement?
No, I'm good for right now.
Okay, you just hold your position.
Yeah.
From Gord, we go to Mary.
Can I? I have a makeshift grappling gun. That's just a hook on a hand crossbow that I haven't used, I think, on stream at all. But I made it in our third session. I'm gonna try to shoot it through the void.
Okay.
And just see if it connects to anything, or maybe I'm not sure.
You kind of angle over, prep and fire. Just fires. Straight through.
Yeah.
How long is the rope?
I think you said the furthest it can go is 50.
Feet. And it just kind of hangs. Pulled. Seemingly
Pulled
like
straight?
Being pulled, and you can feel like some wave to it.
Oh, fuck. That's my action. I was really hoping to connect with something. So yeah, it didn't get cut or anything like that. It's still existing. Shit. I'm still okay for health. I can't do any of that bonus action without... Sorry.
Okay.
All good.
I don't really have any other bonus actions. Shit, no, I don't want to take time to look into any of these mirrors to see if anything else is coming, because then it will. Then something's gonna look back at me and try to pull itself out. I'll just look to Allie and Alana and Gord and say, we can't fucking leave them in there. That's it.
Okay. We go back to Allie.
Oof. Okay.
Before you start, I need you to roll a d10 for me.
Okay.
Oh no, scary stuff.
That's an 8.
Okay, roll a dexterity save for me.
Okay, hold on. That's 12.
Okay.
Probably does have advantage on Dex if she can see while not blinded, deafened, or incapacitated.
Is that only when she's raging, or just in general?
It says it just advantage on Dex effects that you can see while not blinded, deafened, or incapacitated.
She has to see it coming.
Yeah, I don't know if she can see this.
This is less of a see thing.
More of a feel thing.
So what I should say, this has already happened. The intelligence save led us to this point.
Mm-hmm.
This is a damage mitigation and some other bullshit.
Oh, and I was gonna rage this turn too.
It's all good.
You take 31 points of force damage, and Gord and Mary, you guys watch as Allie is surrounded by, you see like this glass mirror construct that stands before her, just kind of flicks from where it had his finger kind of pierced in there, just flicks, and you just watch this kind of distorting like force, and you are shunted into one of the mirrors beside the distortion, and you're just gone.
Not great. Not going great.
That takes us to Gord.
Or you got this one mere bitch still left on the field.
Can I still shoot from my wall of light?
Yes, you can.
Let's do it. D20.
You got
Plus 10.
Plus 10.
23.
That'll hit. Go ahead and roll 48 damage.
16.
Man, he's looking fucking hurt. Allie did a number to this fucking guy.
Do you have anything else, Brock? Is that an action to do that?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's his action to make the attack.
Gordo doesn't have a lot of bonus stuff.
The only bonus thing I think I have is the far step.
In this case, not going to be particularly helpful.
Okay.
Do you hold your ground?
Yep.
Okay. At the end of Gord's turn at the top of the round, Valentine.
No.
There's no memory of where you were. There's no memory of the travel in these weird halls, the spiders, any of this. You look out across a darkened courtyard, black and purple skies above, swirling kind of faint storm, but a familiar homestead ahead of you. The Iridesha Keep, the doors kicked open. There's a dark stain on the blood on the doorstep. Hondo. In a musty tavern, you sit with your boots up on a table before you, a smattering of horrid smelling men surrounding you as you hold a pair of cards in hand, old ale and some whiskey in hand. Across from you, a familiar friend or enemy holding a pair of cards. A wry smile as you look up and you see a feline friend gives you a wink and you lay down your cards. Alana, a darkened forest, a terrifying roar, and a painful scream. Familiar, female. And you look down and see blood just pouring from an open wound. You're dying. Mary, it's your turn.
Oh, okay. I don't know any of that. I will just pull up my sword. This is so dumb. I'm gonna pull up my sword and swords, both of them, and kind of hold them like crossed in front of me. Both of them like hooking up under the neck of this mirrored figure. And just say, what the fuck happens? Where do they go? Like pushing up against it.
Use your action to make an intimidation check.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good call. Go get it.
Great. My intimidation isn't very good.
That's shocking.
My intimidation is a +1.
That's really shocking.
You'd be, in this case, you can use the kind of variant strength roll if you wanted to use your strength instead of charisma.
Okay. So it's a 13.
This alien-looking face. You watch as it kind of looks at you quizzically for a moment. The mouth kind of curls at the edge just a little bit, and then you watch the mouth kind of absorb into the rest, and it just becomes a flattened emptiness.
No, thank you.
That's your action.
Bonus action. Stab.
You have to use your action to attack. Use your bonus action to attack.
Bonus action, spit in its lack of face.
You can do this as a free action.
I can action surge and beat the shit out of it, though.
Oh, that's true.
You want to.
Quick clarification.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm going to get an answer, or is it's not its turn to answer?
No, that was a spiteful, I'm not going to say anything, or I can't say anything.
Yeah.
The specifics you're not sure, but it seemed more spiteful.
I'm just clarifying that it's not like...
No,
if
and
I
with your
attack him,
passive
I'm, like,
insight,
losing.
you'd have a pretty good idea of like the intent behind it.
He ain't talking.
Okay. I'm going to try to beat the shit out of him.
Okay. Action surge.
That's a natural 19.
That hits.
And I'm just gonna do all 3 attacks. It's actually not that high. It's a. You were about to say something.
I mean, roll your 3 attacks. If you're going to use them all, you will kill this thing.
Okay.
If you hit all 3, you definitely kill it.
That's a 21.
Yep.
Natural 20.
Yep. With one swift motion after this mouth thing, and it just, and it
just even with like the pommel, just like smashing it.
It just kind of freezes in the air for a second before you watch all of the pieces kind of embed back into the mirror whence it came.
Okay. There's still one hole.
Yeah.
I'll turn to Cord. And just say, we've got to go get them. And just give one last tug on the little rope that I'm assuming now is not doing anything.
Yeah.
And step through.
Okay. Gord, do you follow?
I will follow.
Gord, as you step through, Mary, as you step through, instantaneously, you lose recollection of the passage of time. It's not like you drift in and then you're absorbed. The moment you pass through, Gord, your eyes close for a moment and reopen. You can feel the pain and the torturous, horrid, abyssal pit in which you were tortured. And somehow, breaking through the mental barriers and the divine protection that has encased your mind since this time, it all comes flooding back. This is the beginning of a long, torturous time. Mary, from a high-ish window, you look down on a rainy night in Lower Arendelle. You can see a pair of figures rushing through muddy streets. There's a faint sound to your right. You look over. There's a little girl looking out the window before she just sinks down. You know that girl. You know this name. And the night you know your parents aren't coming home. And that's where we're going to end tonight. And we'll pick up there next time.
Oh,
No.
what a place to end it. Oh my god.
Thanks for tuning in. The Wildcards will be taking a short break from adventuring for the holidays, but you can join us in the new year as we navigate the demiplane of time and the many realities within. So stay tuned, happy holidays, and keep exploring.